Hi, high school principals. Yeah, I can't make it at the 8:30 meeting, but so sorry. You still have to get my message. So, the first thing on my agenda, Phase 2. I just want to let you know that all science, world language, and ELA teachers, except for a handful, got trained and they are finished. The only thing that they have to do yet is the implementation plan. And so what I did was I shared with them an implementation plan because what I found with phase 1 is that teachers were not as prepared as they wanted to be. They roll out the iPads, and because they didn't have that solid foundation and plan in place, they came up with some hiccups. And so what I did is created an implementation plan. I can share it with you too so you can see what is expected of them. And as soon as they have that plan in, they get their iPad. So right now, Julie Watson has 900, I think that's the number, 900 iPads upstairs ready to be prepared and supervised for those classrooms. Now, we're still waiting on this app deal, so we can get these free apps on these iPads, but that hasn't come through yet. So we're thinking hopefully by second semester, so that their second term, they can start using those iPads in their class. Now, that's only a couple weeks away. I'm not sure if that's going to happen since Julie has a big job ahead of her. Anyway, that's the update with phase 2 teachers. They did a great job. Very excited to connect with your teachers, and thinking of moving to phase 3 because it worked so nice once we got into the routine on Wednesdays. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking of coming on Wednesday in the beginning of February to have a user group, so once they get using them in the classroom, I can just be there all day. They can come in on their prep and ask any questions, so that could be phase 1 and phase 2. Now, with Karen gone, we actually posted a new position called the Technology Integration and Instructional Coach, and we are interviewing for that position coming up next week. So a new person will be working with your teachers and with you, and we'll start building those relationships right away so we can be back on track on coaching and implementing in this digital world. So next on my agenda, turn it over, the first one, Student Vanguard Team. This whole next part of the agenda is talking about how to prepare the high school for a personal model. And so I'm starting with you. What we need to do is create a student group that can be trained, have that vision of what they want their school to look like with mobile devices. And, it's almost like peer mediation. We kind of want to cast our net wide and get all sorts of kids. And so we have a bunch of voices on that team, and then we can come up with what are the perks of being on the Vanguard team. Do they get an iPad personal before everybody else does? You guys think about it and see what we can come up with. But they would be meeting with me and Emily. Emily is going to be my point person at the high school, and then whoever else would like to be on that team, which I would love to have a few teachers as well, so that we can start preparing for this big shift. So we're looking for students. That's number 1. We could call them the I-Knights, by the way, just so you know. The other thing that we need to start creating is a space for, I call them IQs, but kind of funny. It's actually for questions. It could be, some high schools call it a genius bar, could be the I-Night space, or whatever you want to call it, where students can come and ask questions when they start having these devices themselves. We could have students manage the IQ bar, or whatever we want to call it. And So would that be in the LMC? You know, we're trying to get that into more of an innovation space, so we could start creating that as well. So keep that in your thoughts. The next thing we have to plan for, parent nights. Set up Apple IDs. This is going to be huge. We need to educate our parents, so we have to have several parent nights, and students can come and we can start setting up Apple IDs. We did this with RCAA on a conference night, or a couple days actually. It does take a while to sit down and do Apple IDs. Now many kids may have them at the high school level, but it's nice to actually educate the parents as well. And we can show them how to set up an Apple ID without having to put a credit card on it, which will be very safe for the kids. So we need to plan parent nights. Next, digital space online. What I wanted you to see, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I started looking up different sites, different high schools. Can you guys see this over my shoulder? Well, not really. But if we take a look, whoa, ooh, if we take a look at Waukesha North High School, they have a site set up. It's called, their program's called Waukesha One, just like ours is Ignite Beloit. They have some tutorials. Those are little videos in the back there. And then if we click on their Waukesha One site, they have tabs for parents, for students. You know, I started creating a site, but I really like how theirs is set up, and they have something called responsibilities. So the students have a responsibility, the parents have a responsibility, the staff, and the administration. And if you go ahead and Google Waukesha North and then click on where it says Waukesha 1, you're going to see some really great examples of how we can set this up for Beloit Memorial High School. So I'm excited about finding that. I think that you will like that as well. And I would love any feedback on that if you have it. And then last on my agenda, number 5 is boot camp at the end of this year. What I'm hoping to do, now you guys tell me how this would work out, but what I have learned from other districts and have heard is that if you can have a boot camp at the end of the year instead of in the beginning, we could still have, you know, some instructional training at the beginning of the year, but if we do it at the end of this year and we have some learning experiences, and every hour, let's say that it's one day, so every hour there's a different learning going on. So that would mean block what, five different learning sessions, and we can use iTunes U, so the kids are used to that, so we could push that out. So let's say that first hour they're learning about digital citizenship, second hour they're learning about how to back up their iPad and how to use, you know, the cloud management. The third block could be whatever, you know, we'd have to come up with that curriculum. But what I'm hoping is that they could have that experience and maybe have it for a day. I'm not sure how much we can get done before then, but then when they come back in the fall, because there's so many new things, that this would not be another brand new item to add to the full plate of a new year. So something to think about. If we can crank that out, that would be really awesome. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I have for you now. That's the update. I will be contacting Emily, and we'll create those committees. If any of you have feedback, I would love it. So enjoy the rest of your meeting, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Now, if I could quit the video.